Rocking my stilettos, ready for the fight. Gonna show the world I'm a warrior tonight. Strong like a lion, facing unafraid. I won't back down. Gonna rise up and invade. No more playing small, I'm breaking through the glass. Won't let anyone tell me what I can't surpass. I'm a force to reckon with, I'm in control. I'll conquer every obstacle, reach my highest goal. Gonna woman up, gonna seize the day. I won't let anyone get in my way. With courage in my heart, I'm standing tall, fearless and bold. I'll conquer it all. Dancing like thunder, morning sky, feeling big, getting on so high, lost in the moments the music plays. No worries, no cares, just enjoying these days. Shining like stars in the darkest of nights, burning so bright, spirits taking flight, unstoppable. The fire running wild, chasing my dreams, take me higher with style. Paint a telltale, painting me higher with style. Painting the town, colors of the night. Every step we take feels like taking flight. Living for the thrill, no signs of fear. I'm the queen in this atmosphere. In the queen. No more playing small, breaking through the glass. Won't let anyone tell me what I can't surpass. I'm a force to reckon with, I'm in control. I'll conquer every obstacle, reach my highest goal. Woman up. Woman up.
Welcome to the Woman Up podcast, where we dive deep into the stories and strategies that empower women every day. I'm thrilled to have with us today a very special guest, Shan Merchant, a couples therapist and relationships expert. Shan has been transforming lives with her innovative approaches to love and communication, whether you're single, dating, or deep into a long-term relationship. Shan brings a treasure trove of insights that promise to enlighten and inspire. She is today here to share her secrets on building lasting connections and how self-awareness can lead to healthier relationships. So grab your cup of coffee, settle in, and let's get ready to learn how to love better with the guidance of the fabulous Shan Merchant. I'm Natasha, your host, your friend, Woman Up.
Welcome to the Woman Up podcast. My name is Natasha and I'm your host. Today we have a couples therapist and relationship expert, Shan Merchant. Welcome to the Woman Up podcast.
Thank you. Thank you. Super excited to be here, Natasha.
I want to thank you so much for your time, for the time that you're giving us today. And I know now it's midday for you on your end. It's London time.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. For people who do not know you, can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. So my name's Shan. I'm a couples therapist. And really, in a nutshell, I help couples on the verge of divorce reconnect and put their wedding rings back on.
I like that. That's very cool. What led you to help those people?
Well, it's really interesting actually, because initially I actually started off helping single women find love. And so, I really wanted to work with people to get into the early stage of relationship, so basically I've always been interested in relationship. And then so I originally started off with helping women get into a relationship. So I thought I'd work on the first sort of part of relationship. And then I really got into couples work when my current partner and I have been together 15 years-ish. And we actually got into a really difficult place in our relationship, and things became very hard and lots of fighting. And it was actually through looking for a solution to heal my own relationship that I really got on this massive mission to help other couples.
That's very respectful. I respect that. So let's dive into the podcast and the
Yeah.
level of the subject. I had juicy questions for you. And as a single lady, I know now that I can reach out to you for that for assistance. But understanding modern relationships, in your experience, how have modern relationships evolved over the past decades, and what are the key factors driving these changes?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I think there's a couple of factors, isn't there? So there's actually women really starting to have careers and earn money, and not be in the home as much. And also that sort of has changed the balance of power in the relationship. And, I think as well, like our expectations have risen over what we want out of a relationship as well. So we're not choosing to be in a relationship for safety or security as much. We're wanting to choose to be in relationship for fun and joy and companionship. And I just think in general, in a relationship, our expectations have risen. And then the other main thing, if I was just to call out two things that I think have changed in relationship, is our presence in relationship. Because actually, we're in this world of like loads of technology and social media, and particularly our phones, and we're just not, we're very distracted. And so we're just not present in our relationship. And actually, Esther Perel called it something recently, which I loved, which was called half there-ness. And that she was just saying, in all of our relationships, we're half there, and we have to, basically bring all of ourselves in. So I think for two big things, those would be two big ways I see relationships have changed.
So for a single lady like me that's trying to get back on the scene, what should I do? What would be your top three um, advice?
So for you, if for a single woman who wants to start dating again, is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think that really the first thing is actually to start going out dating. So, taking action, because I think a lot of people these days are really put off by the whole dating app scene, and they'll like dip their toes in and they might get burnt or just feel really overwhelmed. And so they tend to not take any action and, say things to themselves like, well, if it's meant to be, I'll meet someone. And I generally find as a dating coach, most women I meet who aren't in a relationship and want to be one, firstly, aren't taking enough action. So that requires having a strategy for dating, for continuously meeting new different types of men or women, like whoever you're actually looking for. So first it would be that I would suggest to you that you actually start taking action. So as in start going on dates, because also the skills that are required for dating are very different to the skills that are required in relationship, completely different skills. And so although some of them cross over, but like it is really about honing your craft and getting better at understanding who you're looking for. I'd encourage you to write a brief actually of like what I'm looking for, so that actually when I'm on dates, I can compare back to that and remember maybe the top three things that are really important for me to, match with someone and, that I'm dating. So I definitely say that. And then, so firstly, taking action. Secondly, I'd say write a brief so you know what you're looking for. Thirdly, I would say really work on yourself. So it's a constant state, actually, I believe, over life of us continuously working on ourselves and looking at areas in ourselves that might be holding us back, or maybe why I'm not feeling so confident, or do you know what I mean? So I would recommend you also, working on how you're feeling so that you know your value when you go dating, because that's really important as well. I know my value. I know I'm deserving of love. I know what I bring to the table. And so I'm going to pick someone that is a match for me.
And how do we go on dates? Because I did live a big part of my life in the era where you are courted, or people are men come to you, but now times have changed, and now do you think that as women we should go and ask a guy out? Is it okay to do that, or should we go like the old-fashioned way, we go in a coffee shop, or we go in those places where we could potentially meet people, but actively finding a partner? Is it approaching somebody, or what would you suggest? How does it look like?
Yeah, I'm going to give you a funny answer, actually. I'm going to say it depends, because it depends really what feels most natural to you. So, for example, for some women that I have worked with, initiating and sending the first message on a dating app is no problem for them. They want to do that. And actually, that has some benefits to sending some messages out, because there's so many people on a dating app. There's so much competition, really, actually. So you actually engaging in the process a little bit, it works for some women. Although I would caveat that with, if you initiate and you send the first message, it's really up to the person to reply and then to be initiating more in the dating process, like to actually ask you out for a date. But I do consider actually sending the first message and sort of kicking that off if you find someone that you like on a dating app. I do recommend that. Yeah, some other women, however, feel very differently to that, and they really want to have the man initiate and really show interest in them. And so some women don't send the first message. And so, for example, you might be more the type of woman that prefers to, be on an app where men are more likely to message you first. So, for example, Bumble, which is where the woman normally sends the first message, you wouldn't be on that one.
That's awesome. I'll take that into action. Now moving to like the couples challenges. What are the most common challenges couples face today, and how can they effectively overcome them?
So I would say actually firstly, one of the biggest challenges actually in our couples face in a relationship is, going back to my first point, is how distracted we are. And so what we often do is we save such little energy for our relationship. And so we might be working really hard in our career, or really invested in looking after the children and running the house. And then at the end of the day, we're completely spent and there's no energy left for our relationship. So for some reason, and I do not know why, people prioritize it at the bottom of all these other things. But actually, to have a relationship which is a really strong foundation just powers your whole life. But anyway, for some reason, and I do this myself, I end up in a place where I don't prioritize my relationship, and then I have to remember to put the effort in. So so you see the main issues that couples would face. So one of the other, probably the key one, is communication. So I just think that a lot of us, and myself included, because I had to learn these skills, we just don't have the required level of communication skills that we need to have a really healthy, conscious relationship. And we don't realize that, because if you think about it, no one's taught to communicate or relationship skills or even listening skills at school,
Right.
or just not something that's taught. And so we actually don't know how to do it. And so then we get into all of these really bad habits of blaming and criticizing to try and get our love needs met in some way. But yeah, like I would say the thing for all couples that come to see me, the thing that they need to learn the most is communication skills.
Wow, that's a powerful one. And it's for sure in the communication branch area, we listen to respond more than to
Yeah.
understand what is said. So I think that's a very huge part that you just shared. So and we well, you mentioned earlier that the uh people on their cell phones are being distracted. The impact of what are your views on the impact of technology? The rise of digital communication and social media has for sure impacted our romantic relationships and the dynamics. What are your views like on that subject?
Well, I just think it's very addictive, isn't it? You know, technology, and it's an easy way for us to de-stress, to get on a phone and, browse social media, just go through social media instead of actually there being a transition from when we come back home after whatever we've ever been doing in the day, or we're finished with the children, and we actually engage with each other. So it's really just about creating that extra level of disconnection. I see it as.
Mm-hmm. So that would be an escape as well.
Well, it is an escape, isn't it? Because a lot of people, what they do is they get the dopamine hit from just browsing and just scrolling through social media. So, it's a way, and it's quite addictive because all of a sudden a large period of time can have passed, and so it's not like we're coming home and we're transitioning, for example, like having a shower and changing our clothes and coming down and then asking our partner, "How are you today? What happened in your day today?" We're really distracted. And it's like a constant thing because, for me, I'm alongside all the couples that I work with, I am doing the work in my relationship too, all of the time, every single day. And this is even one thing with myself. I notice over and over again, it's the age that we live in.
Balancing personal and professional. What advice do you have for couples struggling to balance their personal relationships and demanding professional lives? I know there are a lot of us that are not only trying to move up the corporate ladder, but are implicated in their businesses. There's a lot of people who are becoming entrepreneurs,
Mm.
and I think there's a lot of pressure that comes with that, and sometimes it does impact the relationship, or the energy is brought into the relationship. How can we balance professional and personal life?
Mhm, mhm, mhm. Yeah, that's it's really interesting to hear that. And also, me and my partner both run our own businesses, and so I really get the question that you're asking me. And I think what's really, really important is that, like I said before, you save some energy for your relationship, because if, being an entrepreneur or really working on your career, it's like, if you're really ambitious, it's really hard to drag yourself away. I find it really hard to drag myself away actually from
Right.
my work because I love it so much, but it's about remembering to bring to save some of your energy and bring some of that sense of aliveness into your relationship by showing your interest. So firstly, it would be around the energy, and the other thing would be around to really understand that relationship is not just something that's sort of granted to you, and actually it really is the practice of relationship, and the practice of relationship requires daily small things. And so you really realizing that and realizing, okay, so I've got this ambition to really perform in my business or my career, but actually for me to have a relationship at the same level, then it requires also this consistent small acts. And I actually call these acts of love, where we do these little tiny gestures which are consistently feeding our relationships. They can be little acts of love, or they can also be like appreciation, because appreciation is like the biggest thing that you need on a daily basis in your relationship, and it's the thing that bleeds away. So the longer we're in relationship, we become ungrateful.
Wow, we become ungrateful, or we take things for granted.
Mm. We do. And we know, and we, you know, because of how our brain is wired, we look for the negative in our partner and we
Right.
forget, we get weighed down in that and we forget actually all the positive things. We forget to look for it and see it. And so again, having a conscious practice where every day I do that, you know, is going to really elevate your relationship in a massive way. So yeah, that's what I would say to women: saving some of your energy and doing small daily practices to nourish your relationship.
You wrote From Power Struggle to Peaceful Couple.
Yes.
Can you talk to us about your book?
Yes. Yeah. So basically, I wrote the book. I actually wrote the book for my clients, actually, because I really wanted them to understand the concept of the power struggle. And I wanted to make it a really easy reading book. Do you know what I mean? So someone could like read it and actually get the main concept that I wanted them to get. And basically what it is that I wanted people to know about the existence of the power struggle. And this is a stage in relationship which comes directly after the honeymoon stage. And so we all know about the honeymoon stage. You know, it's in all of the magazines and written about endless times, but there's really not that much written about the power struggle stage. And basically, the honeymoon stage is great and amazing and exciting as it is meant to end. And so, you know, it really is the stage of chemical love that fades away. It's inevitable. We're going to find ourselves in the next stage of relationship, which is power struggle stage. And the thing about not knowing that actually the next stage of relationship is power struggle is that people misinterpret the meaning. So we can find ourselves, so the chemical love slowly fades away, you know, takes around maybe up to 2 years. And then when we're in power struggle, we think, oh, you know, we're fighting all the time, or this distant or cold, or the sex is gone, or there's so much resentment between us that actually I'm not meant to be with you. And so what we do is we misinterpret stage, and then we leave that relationship and just create a new one. So anyway, the book is, I realized actually, firstly, I wanted my couples to know the existence of the power struggle stage. So when you know you're in power struggle stage, you can then do the work to leave it and move on to the next stage of relationship, which I call peace. So I really wanted couples to get that, to know that, because for me, when I found out about the power struggle stage, I was like, wow, oh wow, that's amazing. So now I know where I am, I can do something about it. So it was very empowering. So I wanted other you know, couples to know about this. And then the other thing is when I was writing the book, I also realized every single relationship I've had has ended in the power struggle stage. So I want people to have peace in their relationship, you know, because where there's peace, there's safety, there's love, there's fun, there's joy, there's great sex, there's connection. So anyway, that's what the book is about.
I love that you're saying that it's a stage, because how I view it, and please correct me if I'm wrong or where I'm wrong, because I'm seeing that the way I'm picturing power struggle is two people who's trying to be, the image in my head is two people trying to be right, or to win the argument, or to be always on top. So that's how I see, like, two people bickering. Is that what it is? Is that accurate?
Yeah. It's basically it's the stage of relationship, where people are arguing over what's right, and there's bickering, and there's criticizing, and there's this negativity, negative behavior, blaming, all that type of stuff. So that's sort of like the jostling that you see at the top. But really, underneath, what it's all about is that we all bring our unfinished business from the past, from our childhood, into our adult relationship. And actually, all of this, we're getting triggered by our partner, we're getting stirred up. And the reason is for growth. You are with the person you're attracted to is not an accident. You know, you've been attracted to each other for a reason, because you will trigger each other so much, because in some way you resemble my mother or my father, who I still have this, you know, unfinished business with. I'm still angry or disappointed or felt unloved or not good enough, whatever it is. So that stays with me. And then the person that you get into a relationship with and you experience chemistry with, they are the one, like no one else, that can trigger that part of you. So you've been attracted to them for a specific reason, which is growth. And so all of this comes up in the power struggle stage, but you see it what you see is the fighting or the affair or the cold divorce where couples stop talking to each other, the silent treatment, all of that, but dive down deep and that's what's coming up.
What's keeping them there in that stage? Because and tell me how long it should, since it's a stage, how long does it last? Maybe it's different for everybody. Well, what keeps them stuck there?
Yeah. Do you know what? I just laughed because I thought you were going to be horrified at my answer. And
No.
not be put off as a single woman looking for love. But the thing is the power struggle stage is the unconscious stage of relationships. So we don't know we're there. And so
Okay.
we can stay in that relationship caught in these negative patterns of how we're behaving, the fighting, the criticizing, the blaming, the withdrawal for a year to 50 years. So some people are in the power struggle still, and they've been in there for years, but they put up with it and they just have a relationship where there's lots of conflict. So what is required is that you become conscious about where you are. So once you know, oh, this is where I am in the power struggle. Okay, so let's do the work. And then the work is around basically learning how to listen and talk to each other in a safe way so you can talk through all of your issues, do work around that, and then pass into the next stage, which is peace.
So this is obviously a challenge that the team, a challenge or a problem that for the couple. But tell us how important is individual growth and self-care in the context of healthy relationship?
Individual growth. Yeah. So obviously self-care is really important in relationships. So how you're looking after your own nervous system and your own, self-esteem and just doing all of the things that make you feel supported and good and have good mental health. And so, any work around that is actually really, really important because I believe that, for me, and this is my own desire for a relationship, I like to be with someone who's consistently evolving and growing. And so I believe that it's both of our responsibilities. And so I think that, definitely looking after yourself and self-care is important because you want to be growing individually as well in your relationship, and becoming a self-aware person actually is really important. So you want to be able to be aware of yourself so that you know what you're bringing into relationship, because really the growth in relationship work is around like owning my stuff, self-accountability, self-responsibility. Do you know what I mean? I can't do that if I'm not aware. If I'm completely unaware, I don't even know I'm having a reaction to you, so then I can't learn more about myself. If I'm unaware, then I'm blaming you. Do you know what I mean? So it's like,
yeah, totally.
So I mean, so yeah, the whole thing into it, if I think about self-care as well, like even about stress, how do I manage my stress so not too much of it comes into my relationship and I end up putting lots of pressure on my relationship, so it is really, really important to I believe continue your own individual work and also care for yourself, and then you're not putting that responsibility onto your partner. And of course a relationship layers in on top of that, because part of a relationship is like we're a team, we support each other, so it's just meaning that you're also an individual in that relationship.
What are the secrets to maintaining passion and mainly intimacy in the long-term relationships?
So I guess there's two types of intimacy, isn't there? So there's emotional intimacy and physical intimacy. So the key to maintaining emotional intimacy, I would say, is to listen, to learn how to listen in your relationship so that both of you actually are actively listening. And I actually I read this wonderful quote recently, which I'm going to forget exactly what it is, but it was talking about like loving and listening are so close together that the average person can't even tell them apart. And so I would definitely say listening is something really important.
For sure. It doesn't always have to end like this, but I don't think what makes relationships a a juicy topic is breakups. What are your insights on navigating breakups and the journey towards healing and moving on?
Breakups.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I support people through breakups actually, and I think it's mainly around firstly just being with yourself, like really being kind and loving to yourself in the early stage, like the crisis stage of a breakup, you know, because for some reason there's like the social stigma where, you know, like grief about someone dying is fine, but grief about around a relationship breakup isn't, and there's like shame around feeling so much emotional pain around that. And so I would definitely first really recommend you, if you're going through this, to just really look after yourself and do what you need to do. So if it's, you know, lots of sleep or, you know, connecting with friends or wrapping yourself up in big blankets, or being out in nature is really soothing, just anything to really hold and nourish yourself. And so you know, I would say that's really important through the crisis stages. I would recommend a break in contact. So I would say, like, depending on the reasons for the breakup, some women I might advise a 6-month complete break of no contact. Other times it might be 1 month to 3 months, just really depending on like the intensity of, you know, exactly why you the event that caused the breakup and also the intensity of feelings around that. So, but I would definitely recommend like a period of no contact, just so that you can really not receive any extra information and you can just give yourself time to process some feelings. So the no contact would be important. I'd also recommend if someone has told you that they don't want to be with you and they want to end the relationship, I would recommend really accepting that decision. You know, so often what's really hard to not do is to chase the person and ask them if they'll get back with you and things like that. And I would, you know, it really signifies high self-value if you can accept someone's decision and maybe just like not sending them texts and things like that. I'd recommend having some other container, like writing in your journal and things like that. Do you know what I mean? So I would really like listen to what someone has said. And then the other thing I would say is, like, you know, obviously allowing yourself the time to move through the breakup, and that has different milestones of ending as well. So sometimes it might be, you know, I've taken all your photos away, or I've seen you on out and about dating someone else, or do you know what I mean? So there's different phases of your ending, and so just realizing that the ending is a process that you're in, and to know that as your feelings start to get less intense and you feel like you're able to cope more after a breakup, what's really, really important is to look back and really look for the gold in that. Okay, so what didn't work in that and what did work in that? What type of person do I want to be with? What parts didn't I like about that? What did I learn? Maybe I wasn't discerning enough. Maybe I know that I'm looking for a particular type of person, but I actually got swept away in the honeymoon phase and things moved too fast. Do you know what I mean? So really just seeing the growth out of it, taking it with a growth mindset and simming for the gold.
Huge one. I really hope people are taking notes, because the breakups are a huge piece of in the relationship realms. Advice for our single listeners, what advice would you give them about preparing for a healthy and fulfilling relationship?
Well, I would advice, and I'm just trying to think how to nugget that down actually. I would work on yourself first. So you know, just being really honest with yourself about maybe different areas of your life that you feel insecure or unhappy about, and do some work on that. So maybe it might be around you're not feeling very confident because you don't look the way that you want to look, and maybe you want to get more into a healthy lifestyle, or maybe you know that you're still carrying something from a previous relationship. So maybe you might want to, you know, find some type of modality to work through that, be it therapy, whether it be through some somatic practice, like whatever. You're just actually almost like preparing yourself so that you're a clean slate. That's what I would say. So you can really honestly say, you know, I'm coming into my next relationship, and, you know, or starting to date again, and actually I've given myself enough time to recover from my past relationship. I really feel that, you know, I'm able to step freshly into that. So that would be like you know, a top piece of advice for that. Another piece of advice I'd love to give is don't give up, because I do find that it's really easy to get really negative around the modern dating scene, because there's so much selection that actually people often can't choose, and also because a lot of dating is done online, there's some bad behavior and people get burnt and give up. And I have observed over many years that the women who end up getting into a relationship, a healthy relationship, don't give up, and they continue to look for someone. Because I really believe that, like, yes, for example, out there in the world, it is a bit of a buffet. There's some good people, there's some bad people, but there definitely are people who are looking for a healthy, long-term committed relationship. And so you've really got to really work on remaining positive around dating and not letting negativity slide in and allow yourself to get jaded. And to do that, it really requires you being aware of your thoughts, who you spend time with, and also just you know, having practices which support you, because dating requires energy. So you know, just meaning that you're sort of in it for the long game. That's what I would recommend. So don't give up too early. Keep on going, be consistent, know who you're looking for, so be discerning. That's what I would say. So you know, understand, you know, basic things around dating, like, for example, taking it slowly in the beginning, not getting swept away in the honeymoon phase, so that actually I can see what type of person I have in front of me, having sort of a bit of a brief of the top 3 things that I'm looking for with someone. So yeah, I'd recommend that. And then the other thing is just understanding what a healthy relationship is. So some people who have come from a family where perhaps there was a lot of conflict, they, you know, or a narcissistic family, or an alcoholic family, or any type of family where maybe they didn't get relationship modeled for them, healthy relationship, and they don't know what it is. And so I would really encourage you to read and learn about what healthy relationship is, and so that you can then look for that and also do your own work to become that.
I'm loving that. Quickly, as we are wrapping up, here's my last question to you,
Yeah.
Shan. What is your legacy? What do you want people to remember you for?
Well, what do I want people to remember me for? It would be, I just want people to remember me as a person who his mission was to really share how amazing a healthy relationship is, you know, because and how you know, that I believe having a great relationship brings great meaning and happiness to life and satisfaction. And I guess so, just remembering my passion towards wanting to know more people, you know, for more people to know that and actually live it.
Thank you so much. Well, thank you. I want to thank my audience for staying out up until the end. I want to thank the guest, Shan Merchant. You've been amazing. You gave a lot of piece of golden nuggets. I'll be definitely reaching out to you because your girl needs assistance, and I'm hoping I can get you back on the show eventually.
Yes, definitely. I really enjoyed it anytime. And you know, I just really hope that anyone listening to this podcast today, even if they just got one nugget of information that just really helps something slot in for them so that they can move forward in relationship or dating, you know, that's really my wish. So
thank you. You are listening to the Woman Up podcast. Until then, woman up.